Good morning, folks. Good morning. Sorry, it took a minute to get ready. We had snow, and we have traffic beyond belief. So I'm just getting set up, getting situated here. We got 1 minute till the market opens here. Let me go ahead and finish getting situated here. Okay, let's get situated here. We are pretty much up and running. I think we're going to have a pretty muted open here. As you can see, market is, man, I was really optimistic before 8:30 this morning. I saw all this price action. I saw this beautiful price, a beautiful London high sitting right here, and then a minute later we get this giant candle that just destroys it. So we're probably going to run for the data high right now. That's what it abundantly looks like here. And there's the data high. And midnight open. All right, this is kind of, I'm feeling a little off balance here. Let's get situated. Okay, let's open in prayer. Let's start with that. Father, we just thank you. Even though we're late, we have the opportunity to make money, make wealth, build a legacy for our family, Lord. We just settle our heart. I settle my heart. I quiet my spirit. Lord, and I just wait for your presence. We wait for your leadership, wait for your direction. And thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for the community you're building through Day Trading Jesus, that we as believers can build wealth together through the means of the market. Lord, I ask for your wisdom. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, let's say hi. How are we doing, folks? Good morning. Stan, good morning. Sorry for being late. There's nothing I can do about it, but I'm always gonna set my scheduling for the live stream to begin at 9:15 because that's my priority, that's my goal, and there's just things that happen that that are outside my control. I know it seems a little unprofessional to set a time and then not be there, but there's no other way that I'm probably going to do it. It looks like we're running for previous week high right here. That's what it's looking like. Data high, London high are grabbed. We're getting a nice expansion higher. What I'll probably look for, let's just bump out to the 15-minute. You can see there's nothing else. We've ran the high. So what I'm going to look for is a 1-minute pullback. If I can get a 1 minute pullback and then the next candle closes above that order block, I'll take that long to the high. I doubt we're going to get it, but it's maybe worth a shot. If anybody was wondering, coffee today is way better. So 1 minute pullback, and then the following candle closing above the order block, solidifying that this down close candle is an order block. That's what I'd be interested in, because we're so close to this right now. But we don't want to go long right here, because if we go long there, the next candle could just be further lower. So we just got to wait. If it doesn't give us a 1-2 punch, I'm not interested. We'll wait. It'd be really nice if we wick into this first and then run higher. Okay, so now we're just going to wait. Didn't give us what we wanted. Ted, need to learn to hold a micro to 2 for the extra push. I'm assuming you made a, I'm great. I was 1 tick or 2 away from being stopped out. Tapped 50% of the 1 hour a week. Have a great day. I need to leave before temptation sets in. Walking away is it. Walk away. Got relatively equal lows right here. All that smooth, low resistance liquidity. We got the data lows already been ran. We made some equal lows down here. Oops. But I'm not going to lie, I can't go short when I know that this target hasn't been tagged yet. And there's almost no reason for us stopping. That's really hard to want to go short. Okay, so on an hourly perspective, we came up right there. We've swept this liquidity here. Yeah, we swept that on this 4 hour. We need to run that high. I'm not interested in shorts right now. We do have a little bit of a volume imbalance right here on the 30-minute. Same with the 15-minute. What is that? I'm expecting this volume imbalance to be filled. That's what it looks like it wants to do. Oh, I didn't realize that. Yeah, that makes sense. So we got a volume imbalance right here from 8:29 to 8:30, or yeah, at the 8:30 news candle, we have a volume imbalance. So that's sitting right here, and it hasn't been filled yet. It makes sense while we're drawing lower right there. Here's a breaker. See if it wants to draw down into that level there. I'd like to see that push down into there. Down into this level. Perfect. Currently watching this volume imbalance right here. Okay, so it doesn't look like it wants to go down there yet. We're just going to wait and see what happens. Quite frankly, I'm not sure where to go. Because we have this draw on liquidity and we got this obvious volume imbalance. I can't go short or long until one of those is grabbed. It's just too uncertain. We could potentially try to take the inversion right here. I like that short right there. I like that idea, but I'm not taking it. It's just giving me the seek and destroy vibes right now. The only obvious thing that really was this morning before 8:30, and that was pretty nice. Obviously, it just flashed there and didn't give us any opportunity, but came up and hit that level exactly. If I had a preference, I would like it to run to these high. I would love for it to grab this first. But when there's uncertainty, I need to just sit on my hands. $15 minutes still getting a bullish breaker. So it's 9:51, and we basically are just a solid block of price action. Yeah, I'm going to be bullish, but I'm not going to go long until we fill this volume imbalance and for sure fill this volume imbalance. I would like it to run these equal lows as well. And then I'll look for a long. I think that's the only scenario I'm going to wait for. Until then, it can go back and forth a million times if it wants. This is our first fair value gap. Let's go ahead and mark that. I went back and I reviewed that trade that I took yesterday and had a couple things that I took away as far as if I would have taken that breaker again. Where was it? It was right here, I believe. I went short right here. And as you can tell, the price just went straight through my stop loss and I had a 20 handle stop. A couple things that I don't know what I was thinking. I knew the draw on liquidity was the data highs. So with that in mind, I knew that we were bullish. Then we saw a signature in price right here where the swing low lands right on the middle of this 5-minute fair value gap and then starts pushing higher. Ultimately, I shouldn't have taken the trade at all, knowing we had a higher time frame draw and we see discount PD arrays being respected almost to the tick, as you can see right here. And then Ted pointed out that if I was going to take the trade, I should have took it based on it coming up into this fair value gap, which also had a volume imbalance, which this should have been my entry right here. If I was going to take it, that should have been my entry, which hit the fair value gap, hit my breaker right here, and then did give us how many points? 30 plus handles. So lesson was I waited too long, waited for the extra confirmation that wasn't even there because we had a volume imbalance. And we had the signature and price down here at the bottom that signifies that we want to move higher. Further looking into it, we actually had a bullish breaker right here. We had a high, low, higher, lower, a low, high, lower, low, and then we break higher, and our entry for the long should have been right there. So seeing the signature and price and knowing we had a higher time frame draw, that should have changed my bias and said, all right, where's my breaker to the upside? Can I take a breaker knowing that we hit a very significant key level by it being the exact middle? And if we get displacement or a market structure shift to the upside, I need to be looking for a breaker to get it to participate in that long. And that would have been right on this candle right here. That's what that would have been. And we would have targeted these relatively equal highs for about 60 handles. So I had the wrong analysis on that trade I took yesterday. Hey, that's how you get better, Ted. If you have a wrong analysis, you learn why was it wrong, how do I improve it for next time. I'm going to do a video, and I might do a live stream where I do some back testing. I want to show you guys how I do my back testing, what the process I go through. And I'm trying to do that at least for a day's worth of price action every single day. So I'm trading, obviously, and then in the evening, before I head to bed, or I call it a night, I pull up a previous day. I'm usually going in order. I'm back in October, I believe. And I will do my whole analysis like I do in the mornings, but I do it on past price action using the replay button on TradingView. And then I take my trades just like I would here, but I do it in replay mode and on demo. Hey Tyler, would the candle at 946 be a breaker? A bullish breaker or a bearish breaker? Paul, I do sometimes, and then I also do some executions on Trade of 8. That would be right here. So this, I would do executions on here, and I'll do executions on Trade of 8. So I use both because sometimes I'll have my personal account or small account challenge. So like right now, the next trade that I take will be on this screen here for my small account challenge if I want to take a trade. All right, see that? Oh man, part of me just wants to chase because this is going to hit that level right now. When you see a candle like this, it's going to hit this. I can't chase it though. My rules are I have to take an inversion or a breaker for my small account challenge. Was it a bullish breaker? I would say no. No, not at all. This looks more like a breaker here. A bearish breaker. We got a high, low, higher high. We break lower. We come back up into it right here. I wanted to see that find support there and then push lower, and it didn't do it. TradingView is the white screen, correct? This, well, it is logged into an account, but normally it's not. But one is my trade of 8. One is excuse me. This screen that you're looking at right now has nothing on it. If I'm going to trade on this screen here, which I don't do it as often, it's going to be an eval account most likely because I'm looking at the mini contracts. So this is NQ. It's not MNQ or the micros. Which I will do executions on MNQ because it's only a micro, and a single micro is only $2 compared to $20 for on a point. So what the black screen that you saw is a micro contract. So that's the MNQ contracts. And I trade on the MNQs because there's less risk compared to trading on the regular mini contracts, which is NQ, which is $20 per point, which is a lot more risk, as you can imagine. But when I'm doing my analysis, I want the analysis on the NASDAQ. I want it on the NASDAQ, not the micros, not the MNQs. I want it on the NQs. So this is the contract we're on right here, right up the top here, NQH 2025. The black screen, this would say MNQH 2025. So I don't do analysis on that other screen. I don't do analysis on this screen. I just do my executions on this screen because it's a smaller contract. So you can see right up in the top corner right there. It cuts it off just barely, but it actually says MNQH5. That's what it says on that screen. This one is just NQH 2025. Again, we didn't hit the previous week high. I'm not interested in this drop. What I would be interested in is if we can get a run on liquidity to then take a trade up to this level. I'm interested in that. All right, so look how we respected the midnight open right there. We closed there. I really like that signature and price. But even still, I'm not interested really in taking a trade long inside this range. This is, Adzi, what you called a breaker. This is a mitigation block. Low, high, higher, low. So here's the lower low, here's the higher low. So that means a mitigation block, not a breaker. T-Love, I'm thinking more seek and destroy for sure. Lainu, have a blessed day. It's not a sell model yet, Tony. I mean, it could be, but 100%, I can't participate in a short until that runs. See ya, TOC. I think I'm going to go long right here. I really like this wick here. And I like this wick here stopping right at the midpoint of that first fair value gap. And the body's all respecting the midnight open. So I am currently long. There is a breaker right here, but I want that breaker to fail because why? We didn't hit a higher time frame target. If we can get above this little swing high right here, I'm probably going to move my stop to break even. So this is a free trade for me now. I will, if we can get all the way up to this level, I will move my, I'm going to move my stop because that's a 60-point move. I'm happy with that. This was a 40-point move, but it barely wicked it, so I might get stopped out here. Let's see what happens. There's our inversion fair value gap entry. It tagged right the midpoint of that inversion fair value gap sitting right here. Let's see if it can expand. Quite frankly, if we get above this previous week high, we could run higher. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to move this target higher, but move my stop up to cover the profits that I made. If it will give it to us. We really need to get through this last fair value gap sitting right here. We need to get through that fair value gap. I don't want it to find resistance there, which it is currently. I'm going to set this at 22,000, I think. That's just a nice round number. That's an ideal target. My primary focus is going to be moving my bottom level on what my base is. What's the guaranteed amount? And I'm waiting for us to get back above this. Once we do that, I'll be moving my stop higher. Seeing if we can get a flash. I would love to see if we can just get a pop. And if it reaches for that level, let's see what we got here. Yeah, there's a potential of reaching for that. Alright, come on. Give me that push right now. Get us to the previous week high. I'd like to see if it wants to give us a nice big push here. I'm hovering over the market sell. in case I just want to do that. If it flashes up to this level, I'll take that at 980. I'll take that. We just made equal highs there. Come on. Previous week high is our target. Previous week high is sitting at 968. Basically that level right there. I'm going to be right underneath the midpoint of this wick. So this wick, if we reach below the midpoint of this wick, I'm moving my stop loss. We're so close that we could just flash. There's the high. Let's see if we can push higher right here. This is what I wanted, to see if we can push. Just give us a nice little big candle towards 997. Okay, we're going to close it there. Oh, there it is, the push. It's all right, I'm happy. Beautiful trade. Oh, look at the push now. There it is. It hit my target. I waited patiently for that. Really glad to see that trade play out. Wonderful trade. We saw everything we wanted to see. And that puts us up nicely on our small account challenge. One trade. Profits were $119.26. One trade, one contract. You can't ask for anything more. Here's our fills. We got in at 21,910 and we sold at 21,971. So 61 handles was our profit on that. I see so many reversals at these previous week highs that I just thought it could just flash lower. I should have just brought my stop up right at that level and let it play out. But I didn't. Reached up to 990 right now. Still with opportunity to reach higher, but let's see if it gets... We have to see some type of retracement because this is a big level. But anyway, that's going to be that for the small account challenge. $60 handle trade. Yeah, I mean, that's what I should have done, but we hit a big level there. And it's an area of growth for me. Who's the slime girly? The slime girly? That's just an area of growth for me in my trading that I want to grow in. But I mean, I don't know how long you've been watching, but the past year my standard TP was 10 to 20 handles. And right now I'm holding, I just held for 60 handles. So I'm really grateful for that. I'm just going to take it one step at a time. I'm not going to try to, squeeze out every piece of profit on a run like this. But it hit my target, hit everything that I wanted to. We had the right analysis on what we saw price doing. The candle at 10.7. 10.07, 10.08, and 10.09 is what told me to go long. If you want to study something, study candle 1007, 1008, and 1009 and try to figure out why I went long there. If you're just joining, I said it earlier when I got into the trade, but you should be able to tell. And if you can't, that's okay. You're learning, and you haven't learned everything what to look for. And I found something else that makes sense. That's interesting. Midnight open. That's one of them. There's several here. There's several here. And when you got them overlapping each other like this, it just gives you the confidence to actually execute. Okay, I'm going to go long. I'm going to do it. I mean, there's so much evidence here. I have to take a risk. This seems like a safe place to take a risk. So yes, we have the mitigation block. We got midnight open. We have the first presented fair value gap of the morning. We got this candle, specifically 1009, the candle touched the exact center of that candle. So when I see that, ICT calls it the kiss. It's the kiss goodbye. This came down to a important fair value gap. It kissed the middle and then went the other direction while still respecting midnight open. What else did it have? And I didn't see this in my analysis. I'm seeing this post analysis. This fair value gap right here. I'm going to color that. Let's color that orange here. This fair value gap right there. This fair value gap was unmitigated. This fair value gap here was already mitigated in the form, I don't care, I'm not talking about the wicks right now, I'm talking about the bodies. It was a balanced price range. All this area that I'm highlighting is a balanced price range. So when the bodies came down, what did they fill? They filled the unfilled fair value gap while wicking in to the lower parts to bring the destruction, because wicks destroy. See, they're seek and destroy. The bodies tell the story. But the bodies mitigated only this fair value gap because it was the only unmitigated fair value gap when you look at a balanced range. So it did not need to come all the way back down here. So we got our first presented fair value gap. We have the midpoint being kissed. We got the midnight open with the bodies respecting that. And then what's the most important thing that we can't overlook? We had a reason to go higher. We had a abundantly clear draw in liquidity. Midnight or the weekly high, the previous week high and previous week low is a very obvious target. Now, not every day is that going to be a target. So you got to figure out what's the obvious target. Well, when you come up right here and you only have this much space left and then you reject it, then you come up here again and it stops before it hits that level. Okay, so now I'm like, all right, it's ready to run that level. We just need to find where our entry is going to be. And that was it. Great execution. So I sold a few points above the high or the target, and it gave us another 20 handles or so. You know, I don't need to get that extra 20 handles. I'm happy with 60 handles. I'm really happy with 60 handles. That was a great trade. I can't complain. My minimum target is 40 handles on the small account challenge. The challenge is to get this account up to $1,000. We started at 500. It's definitely taken me longer to get there. We are on day 21. We're on day 21. But the first 2 weeks, 14 days, it took me a while to figure out the groove of the small account challenge because it's such a different beast than trading with prop firm cash. It's completely different, man. But we figured it out, and we're starting to see that account grow now. We're sitting at 688, started at 500. Really, we've grown it to 688 in just 3 trades. And those 3 trades, 2 of them were winning, 1 was a loss. So, keeping with proper risk management, I only my standard stop loss is 10 handles. I've allowed myself to move my stop loss to 20 handles when it seems appropriate, and it just depends on the volatility of the day. Here, we didn't even get close to 20 handles. I don't even think we got to 10 handles. So we had everything work out in our favor and got a 3-to-1 risk to reward. All right, let's who's asking that? T-Lof, are you asking that? Here, let's see what we got. So if you're looking at the 5-minute, it needs to be this candle here. It needs to be the candle that pierces the high, not the following candle. So a 5-minute change in state of delivery. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not even answering your question. Here's our 5-minute change in state of delivery. You're talking about this 5-minute inversion right here. Maybe. I'm not too excited about it. But we definitely have reason for lower prices. We have a volume imbalance here. We have equal lows here. And we have London low down here. So Stan, what I would recommend you doing, Stan, is journal it. Why did you not feel prepared? What do you need to do differently to feel prepared? Now, I'm becoming more convinced in writing things down than just knowing it. So I was one of those guys that, like, I hate writing. Why do I need to write? I don't need to write. If I know it, I just need to say it and I'm good. But there's just something that I'm coming to that just has convinced me that writing things down matters. Writing things down matter. So even if it's just like, so here on these sheets, I've shown these sheets before. This is my affirmation sheets. As I'm sitting here, I'll just write things out. Things that I said verbally, I'll just write it down. But the other thing that I'll do is on them, just in line, I'll just write out what my goal is, what I want to accomplish today. So I'm just writing it down. I'm not trying to keep it for later, but there's something that there's a little bit of satisfaction when I write it down. It feels good. And it's another level of conviction and solidification for you as a trader, as a person, when not only you think it, not only do you say it, but you also write it down. Just it's solidifying it more in your subconscious, I think. And I know there's studies out there that would agree with that support that idea, but for me, I feel it because I was never that way before. But now, I've shown it on screen before. I probably got 40, 50 pages front and back full of just affirmations. And I keep them. I don't throw them away. I keep them to show the work that it took. It reminds me of my commitment. It reminds me of what I'm trying to accomplish. So we do have another high, another previous week high. This is also a previous month high. So let's look at the monthly. Here's the monthly candle right there. Look how close we are to the previous month high. What do you think our potential target could be? Does it have to hit it for it to be a target? No. We can use it as our draw on liquidity if we see a bullish move. So we may not be done with us moving higher right now. Look at a weekly time frame. We could drop a level here and see where it's landing. Look at that. We came up to the exact middle of this weekly wick from January 21st. That's interesting. Back down to the 1 minute. Sorry, I'm just getting things set appropriately. Something happened. All right, so there's our drop. There's the wick. So now, because of that, I'm watching to see how it reacts to this wick. Excuse me. I'm watching to see how it reacts to the consequent encroachment of that daily wick, of that weekly wick. To me, that's a significant level. Do we stay underneath it, or do we push above it and find support above it? Because if we can push above it and find support above it, then we can confidently say that this previous week high could be, previous month high sitting up here could be a potential target. Future Millionaire. Good morning, DTJ and crew. I have a question on TPT. Once you reach 3K, what do you need to do to move to pro? Something to sign, start trading for payout for the following day. I made a 3K mark. I hit my 3K mark today. Are you on Apex, Future Millionaire? That's the only one I can speak to right now. I'm not sure if you're still here, Future Millionaire. But if you are, I'm happy to answer your question. I'm just seeing it. I think next week I want to extend my one trade rule to also my funded accounts. To take one trade per day, even on my funded accounts. I think that would be good. I'm seeing the benefit on my small account challenge, and it's giving me more confidence that that is possible. All right, we're pushing higher now. I'll be right back, folks. I'm going to use the restroom. That's where I think price is going, right there, folks. Folks, we are sitting watching the market do its thing. We already took a trade. Really, if I'm going to do something else, I need to see the market give a significant retracement to the down, retracement, and then move higher. I'm not just going to take a long while it's running like this. If I was going to take another trade, it would have been right here, but I sold my trade just recently, less than 10 minutes prior to that, so I wasn't going to take another long. But you can see that that would have been an easy hold for a higher target. I sold mine for 62 handles, 61 handles, and easily, if I had the balls, that would have been an extra 82 handles. 140 handles that could have been right there. If you guys have any questions, drop them in the chat. I'm happy to answer them. So it's probably going to be pretty quiet unless we see something new in the charts. But if you have questions, I'm happy to answer them. Is Trump talking at 1 p.m.? Oh, yeah, we got tariffs today. He's talking tariffs today, so it's going to get pretty crazy. It wouldn't surprise me if we hit the previous month high and then we see an insane drop. Wouldn't surprise me. That's kind of what I'm expecting. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if we get an insane drop. I'm watching this first fair value gap right here in this price range. I'm expecting this to find support. So this is the fair value gap I'm looking at right here. Even if I wanted to go long, I would need to see it come into this fair value gap. I would not go long here. Quite frankly, I'm not sure if we want to get up to this level as quickly. That quickly. I'm not sure. We'll see. All right, so see how we're reaching for that. Once we hit this fair value gap, then I would want to see how it respects the premium portion of that fair value gap. See if we reach down into the discount portion. If we don't reach down into the discount portion, I would call that still relatively strong, and we may see higher prices. And it could be a way that you could take a long from something like that. All right, so there we tagged into the fair value gap, and now we're just watching to see how it wants to react here. We're right around 11 o'clock right now, so it would be interesting to see if we can put in a swing low inside this and start moving this direction. We're just going to wait to see what happens here right around 10 o'clock, and then we're probably going to call it a day here, folks. That was the most disappointing 11 o'clock candle. Yeah, we could just play around in this like this. Who knows how long. I think we're with that, folks. We're going to call it a day. We'll be back here tomorrow, Friday, for last day of the week stream. It should be good. We'll be here, God willing, at 9:15 New York Standard Time. We'll be live and ready to rock and roll. If you want to hang out with us, come hang out with us. Also, Apex is doing a 80% off sale right now. So if you want to get the most updated discount Apex is offering, if you're wanting to trade with funded accounts or eval accounts, just to mitigate some of your risk on a personal account, you can use the code DTJ, and that's going to give you the most updated discount that Apex is offering, DTJ, and you can use that to get an eval account. It's $29 for a 25K account or $33 for a 50K account. I wouldn't do any higher. I wouldn't do a 250, 300. Forget that crap. That's a waste of money in my opinion. And they're just trying to get you to buy those higher accounts. So even though I may be an affiliate for them, I know how they're playing the game. They're playing a game here, folks. And so we just want to be smarter than those that are playing the game. If we want to come out on top, we got to be smart about it. And I don't think you need anything more than a 50K account. So find that code down in the description, DTJ. Other than that, guys, God bless. Stay safe. Happy Valentine's Day for those couples out there. Have a good one. If you're a man on the stream, schedule a dinner. Schedule a dinner. Do something nice for your wife. Show her that she matters and you care for her. So, God bless. Stay safe, guys. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.